Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping straight into the Formula One Miami Sprint race. Bit of a wild one.
Definitely was.
We've got some great analysis here, mainly drawing from Motorsports by Alex. And really, our mission is just to pull out the key stuff. What happened, why it was a big deal, the main takeaways.
Exactly.
We know you want the important bits, the surprises, those aha moments, without getting bogged down in every single lap.
Yeah, consider this your shortcut. We'll hit the highlights, the drama, the strategy calls that really define this sprint.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, even before the race properly started, things were, dramatic. Heavy rain.
Oh, yeah, a proper downpour. It messed with the schedule right away.
And wasn't there something with Leclerc?
Huge. Charles Leclerc, believe it or not, crashed on the way to the grid.
No way.
Yeah, on the intermediate tires, conditions were that tricky. So he was out before the race even began. A massive blow for Ferrari.
Wow. That's tough. But then the flip side was Kimi Antonelli.
Right. Total contrast. Antonelli puts it on mini pole fastest in sprint qualifying in those same wet conditions.
And he's the youngest ever to do that for a sprint or a main Grand Prix.
That's the one, youngest ever. So you had this incredible buzz around him, huge pressure, but also a massive opportunity.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like, the experienced hand slips up and the rookie absolutely nails it.
Exactly. Just shows you, motorsport, It's so unpredictable. Experience helps, but sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it just bites you. So, because of all that water, the start wasn't normal.
No, not at all. They actually started the race behind the safety car.
Right, visibility issues.
Too much spray. Oscar Piastri apparently said general visibility wasn't awful, but the braking points, like end of the straights, really bad.
Okay, it makes sense. Safety first.
So they did the laps behind the safety car, then another formation lap.
Right.
Before finally announcing a standing start. Must have been intense waiting in the cockpit.
Yeah, all that stop-start mentally resetting. Okay, so lights out finally happens. How did Antonelli get away from pole?
Not perfectly. Piastri alongside him got a flyer. And Piastri just went for it into turn one. Antonelli ran a little bit wide.
Oh, dearly touched.
Looked very close, yeah.
But
Piastri made the move, took the lead.
So the early order was Piastri, Norris, then Verstappen.
Correct. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen. And actually, Fernando Alonso had a great start, too.
Oh, yeah.
Moved up into the points early on in the Aston Martin. Looked promising for him.
Did the stewards look at that Piastri-Antonelli turn one moment?
They noted it, yeah. But decided pretty quickly, no further action, just a racing incident, basically, first lap intensity.
Fair enough. So Piastri's leading on the intermediate tires. Track's starting to dry out a bit.
Exactly. He's pulling a bit of a gap, managing it well, but then the strategy calls started coming thick and fast.
This is where it gets interesting.
Always does. McLaren decided to split their bets.
How so?
They pitted Piastri, the leader, for medium slick tires. But they told Lando Norris, running second, to stay out on the inters.
Ooh, bold. Covering both bases, I guess. Betting on how quickly it dries.
Pretty much a classic strategic split. Meanwhile, others were reacting too. Lewis Hamilton.
What did he do?
Pitted really early. Gambled on soft tires.
Wow, okay. He must have been really struggling on the inters then.
Seems like it. He said later he felt like, what have I got to lose?
Yeah, fair point if you're not comfortable. Anyone else pit early?
Yuki Tsunoda. He was actually the very first to go for mediums. That was kind of the signal, okay, the track is ready for slicks now.
Right, the trigger point.
And then, crucially, DRS was enabled.
Oh, okay. That changes things. More overtaking potential.
Definitely. And almost immediately things started happening. Incidents.
Like what? Saints?
Yeah, Carlos Sainz Jr., he just seemed to lose the rear of the Ferrari, spun, got a puncture, had to pit. Disappointing run for him.
Yeah, shame. And then the big one of the pits, Verstappen.
This was major. Red Bull released Verstappen from his pit box. Right into the path of Antonelli, who was coming into his own pit box just behind.
Oh, dear. Contact?
There was contact, yeah. Stewards looked at it straight away. 10-second penalty for Verstappen.
Ouch. That's going to hurt.
Unsafe release.
Very costly mistake by the team. And the drama wasn't over.
Go on.
Fernando Alonso. He had that good start, remember?
Yeah, running in the point.
Well, he ended up in the wall. Pig crash.
What happened? Contact?
Yeah, contact with Liam Lawson. Lawson was trying to overtake Alonso on the inside.
Okay.
But it looked like Lawson ran a bit wide, maybe off the track limit slightly during the move, and clipped Alonso. sent Fernando spinning hard into the barriers.
Jeez. Lawson's fault then, potentially.
Looked a bit ambitious on Lawson's part, maybe. The replays weren't totally conclusive initially, but it brought out the safety car.
Right. And did the race restart after that?
Nope, that was it. They couldn't clear Alonso's car in time, so the sprint actually finished behind the safety car.
Anticlimactic end, but understandable. Who won? Norris. Lando Norris, yeah. Remember McLaren kept him out on the inters when Piastri pitted?
Right.
Well, when the safety car came out because of Alonso's crash, it basically neutralized the race just after Piastri had made his stop for slicks. Norris inherited the lead.
And couldn't be caught because of the safety car finish.
Exactly. So Norris takes the sprint win, Piastri second, despite probably having the faster strategy overall if the race ran green.
Wow. And Hamilton. Did his soft tire gamble work?
It absolutely did. He came home third. Great result for him after taking that risk.
Amazing. So the podium is Norris, Piastri, Hamilton. Where did Verstappen end up with his penalty?
Outside the points. That 10-second penalty dropped him way down. I think 8th was the last points place. Let's see. Yeah, the final points were Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, then Albon, Russell, Stroll, Lawson, and Ollie Bierman in 8th.
Lawson got points despite the Alonso incident.
He finished 7th on track, yeah. But you're right, that incident was under investigation after the race.
Oh, okay. Any other investigations?
Yeah, Alex Albon was also being looked at for potentially doing something wrong behind the safety car. So those final points, especially for Lawson and Albon, might have shifted slightly after the stewards had their say. Tsunoda just missed out in 9th.
Got it. Quite the shakeup. What did the drivers say afterwards? Norris must have been pleased, but maybe felt a bit fortunate.
He was pretty honest about it, actually. Said, yeah, it was a bit lucky with the safety car timing, but also stressed how tough it was managing the strategy and tires in those conditions. You still have to be there, right?
True. Put yourself in the position to benefit. What about Piastri? Must have been gutted.
A little bit, yeah. Expressed some disappointment, felt like he did everything right, led strongly, made the switch to slicks, and then circumstances just, took the win away. That's racing sometimes.
Yeah, brutal. And Hamilton, happy with the podium?
Oh, definitely. He mentioned it had been a tough year, so getting P3 after that early gamble on softs really paid off. A reminder that sometimes you just got to roll the dice.
Absolutely. Any interesting takes from commentators?
Julian Palmer, for instance, really highlighted how critical that safety car timing was for Norris, and also the massive impact of that Verstappen penalty from the pit lane incident. Small moments, huge consequences in a sprint.
Totally sums it up.
Yeah.
So wrapping this chaotic Miami sprint up, what are the big takeaways?
Well, first, just the sheer unpredictability, wasn't it? Weather, strategy gambles, crashes, penalties. It had everything packed into a short race.
Yeah, classic sprint potential, maybe amplified by Miami and the conditions.
Exactly. And it showed how fine the margins are. Norris wins by, being in the right place when the safety car came out.
While Piastri drives maybe a technically better race, but finishes second.
Right. Tough luck versus seizing the moment. And you saw drivers like Antonelli show amazing pace initially.
Really to get caught up in things later.
Yeah, that pit lane incident definitely hampered him. So really contrasting fortunes across the grid.
It really sets things up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And leaves you wondering, maybe this is the question for you listening, how will all this chaos, the tire calls, the incidents like Lawson Alonso, Verstappen's penalty, how will that affect how teams and drivers approach the main Grand Prix?
That's the big question. Do they learn from it, play it safer? Or do they see opportunities in the chaos and maybe take even bigger risks?
Something to think about. Anyway, hopefully this deep dive gave you that quick, sharp understanding of a really complex sprint, all the key moments without needing hours of analysis.
Yeah, the surprising bits, the core story.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in.